of making those payments on that, you turn around and take that money that you could be paying aggressively on this bill to upgrade your luxuries. So now you got a luxury that's upgraded, but now you ain't got no money to pay for that luxury. So now you just put yourself deeper into a hole that you didn't need to be in. There was nothing wrong with that 900 square foot house. There was nothing wrong with that $100 payment that you were making on that old beat up car. There was nothing wrong with neither one of those things, but you decided because you wanted to feel good about your own life in the moment, you decided that you wanted to upgrade those things and not necessarily invest in something that's going to benefit your entire future, not just your future.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me, not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Morton, always here with me is the Aaron Mack, the lovely Coco, and Alyssa Ramirez.
Mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains.
So,
I want to actually, somebody asked me about the our theme song. It was like, yo, that song hard on the theme song, man. Who is that? And I'm like looking at them like,
me.
You hear that same voice throughout the entire hour of the podcast. Like, what do you mean? Like,
I asked the same question. I was like, this is a dope ass song. I was like, where did this come from?
So, if you want to hear the song, the name of the song is Legacy. And if you want to hear the song Legacy, the full track outside of the intro of the Dirty Trump podcast, you can go to AaronMackMusic.com and that song will be on there. So go and check that out.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. That's why I wore my Aaron Mack Music shirt. So.
Hey.
Yeah.
Dope.
Anyway, I'm going to stop stealing the thunder now.
All right. So, how should we start this?
We started the same way every time. Boss of Falls first.
Boss of Falls?
Let's go. I'm ready.
So I got.
Oh yeah, I got some nut on my mouth.
Some what?
No.
Jesus Christ.
Milk. He said milk. It was milk. Clearly it was milk. So we're gonna get into our Boss or False segment right now.
Boss.
Did we come up with a theme music for that?
We gonna have to. It's gonna have to be some theme music. It's gonna have to be a jingle or something. We can get Alyssa to sing.
No. We will not.
We're going
Coco all the way.
Right?
See, you got it. There you go.
Y'all both gotta do it. Gotta be like a harmonized.
Yeah, like a duet.
No, you two all the way.
Yeah.
And you're always singing, so there's that. So it's you three. I'm good. I will orchestrate it. It's all good.
Air traffic control gonna sit behind the desk.
Yep. Make sure that no one
man.
crashes.
All right, what we got for Boss of Falls?
So recently there was a podcast done. Our can we say partner or our brother podcast, Herb Absurdity.
Yeah.
And they had a guest, which is a close friend of ours, Michelle. I don't know the last name.
Balcom.
That's how you pronounce it? Yeah.
Alrighty.
Michelle Balcom.
There we go.
Yeah.
That. And her story really like spoke volumes to me. She was diagnosed with not one but two what diseases?
There was
basically
was it
arthritis and spinal
some kind of spinal something that was like would have her wheelchair bound was what she was told when she was younger.
And everyone knows already like arthritis is like a very hard thing to deal with. We probably already have like close people that have arthritis and they have a very hard time, living out their days. And she didn't see this as a death sentence or a sentence to be wheelchair bound. She did what she had to do. She got in shape. After going to the doctor, it was like, all right, look, this is what I need to do. This is what needs to be done so she could live her life by her own means. Now, a lot of people, they would take that as like, oh, all right, I'm gonna be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. I'm gonna sign up for government assistance. I'm gonna have it cheese for the rest of the life or whatever. Right. So is it a boss or false move to receive a diagnosis from a doctor and live your life the way you want to?
Without following the doctor's orders, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it's false. Definitely false, because you're going to, kill yourself faster. I mean, is it a deadly, thing? Or
I don't think so. I mean, I guess it was at one point.
I mean, well, you're just hurting yourself.
I mean, but think about who we talking about here, too, so.
Yeah.
And think about how the outcome of it, so.
I mean, but she didn't do that to,
Spike
live. Yeah, it's not a want. She didn't do that for a want.
Yeah.
So, but he was saying, people out there living their life how they want to do it, not how they need to do it.
Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So, I feel like, Jesus, Red is angry.
Wrong show.
Alright, but so, in my eyes, that would be false, because you out here, you can be, whatever the diagnosis is, you can be hurting yourself more, being more, wheelchair bound, deathbed bound, you just gave up and I gave a fuck, basically.
Right.
Marcus?
That's interesting. I mean, it could really go either or. But maybe false, because, like you said, everyone would want to live life how they want to by their own means, and not be, I guess, restricted. Even though, working 9 to 5 and all this other stuff, I don't think that's by anyone's means, but just to have that freedom. I think freedom is real important to everyday life. I mean, without it, you basically are dying. If you're not doing what you love and doing what you're passionate about,
it's more of a
you're
mental
basically
strain.
settling and dying in the process. So.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I think that it's a boss move. I think that it truly depends on the person's intention. If they're okay, think about it like this. So in the world today, we live on such a, okay, the doctor told me I have a cold. Oh no, I'm going to die. Oh no, I'm going to do this. Oh no, I'm going to do that. At the end of the day, their job is to make sure that you're there to either get better if they're doing their jobs correctly, or they're looking to make more sales in terms of what the newest medication is. So they might intentionally diagnose. Granted,
big pharma.
Granted, there are insurance scams and things like that happen with doctors that are just intentionally diagnosing you with something that you're not actually having. But at the end of the day, not everyone has the same heart as all of us.
Right.
So the fact that she or anyone else that just basically goes against and says, yep, I'm not going to accept that. I'm going to do what I can to make sure that I'm healthy. I'm going to make sure that I'm there to see my future family. I'm going to make sure that I can do this. I can do that. Yep. If it's somebody that's well, I just give up. I'm just going to take whatever government assistance I can get. I'm going to see who I can feed off of. I'm going to see what this and that and the other. I think that it truly depends on where their heart is. That determines whether or not it's a boss or false.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I can see everybody's point. However, motherfucking boss move. I'm gonna have to go ahead and say it. Right. You just straight up was yo, you a professional.
That was out there.
Behind us.
Yeah.
Oh, that was. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. All right. So yeah, it's a motherfucking boss move. Because if you go ahead of balls to just straight up ignore the dude who spent 12 years of his life in school studying this, to just say look, I'm gonna live my own. I'm gonna live my own life. I don't really care what you diagnose me with, but this is This is what I'm gonna do.
Right.
It's just like the movie Last Holiday with Queen Latifah. Like she got the cancer diagnosis, and she was like, "Yo, like I've never lived my life, so right now it's the time to live my life. I don't care what they tell me." And it's usually that type of situation where it's like you think about like people in the hospital who's like supposed to be on their deathbed. You see the difference between the people who are optimistic in their deathbed versus the people who are pessimistic in their deathbed. Like the one that's pessimistic, even if they can have the same exact disease at the same exact stage, and the one that's pessimistic is going to die a lot faster because they've already given up on the hope of actually living and actually having a life that's worth living. Right. For people to sit back and just like to take a diagnosis and just be like, all right, well, they said that I'm not going to live no longer than 6 months after receiving this diagnosis. All right. I don't really know if that's true or not. I know I feel good right now. Right. So I'm not going to really pay attention to what they telling me. And I'm just going the Lord going to take me when the Lord take me. You'll hear that a lot. Mm-hmm. Like, and those people usually live the longest. Right. But it's those people who just take a situation like Herb was telling me a few weeks ago about a kid who refused to do any work at our job because he was diabetic, and he used that as an excuse as to why he couldn't work or why he couldn't do work when someone told him to work. And it's those people who are the ones that's like they just sitting up collecting a paycheck. They want to get disability, like the one that we recently had the situation with where he had the back problems and he couldn't work for the last 10 years of his life and wasn't on disability but rather live off of other people because he hurt. Yep. Yeah, like it's people like that. They are the ones that are making it look bad for the ones who just out here just like, yo, fuck the doctor. I ain't worried about him. Oh, you ain't been to the doctor? You got MS, you ain't go to the doctor yet. I feel good. Like, I'm fine. Oh, you got arthritis and you ain't really got that checked out. I'm good. Like, it's those people that I'm gonna say it's a motherfucking boss move for that. People like Michelle who was told that she was gonna be crippled. And then turned around and was like, nah, not really. I hear that. You know, I give you that. But you know, this X-ray, it don't look right. But I'm gonna go ahead and fix that myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, it could have been one of those situations like she just went to the wrong doctor. He got a smudge. He accidentally touched the fucking X-ray or something with it got a fingerprint on it. Like, it could have been one of those type of situations. Though, you know. And she could have went to a different specialist. He could have told her something completely different. Like Eric could have been a doctor was like, all right, so here's what I see. That's wrong. But if you did this, you could reverse it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Second opinions are good.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes people get a sixth opinion and yeah. I mean, that's a lot of money down the line though. Cause you like they charge you diagnostic fees in America to get to even look at you to tell what's wrong with you now. But yeah. Like you can't just go to the doctor. Like you got a yearly physical, right? Mm-hmm. You don't pay for the yearly physical, but say if something happened to you that you felt like something was wrong with you, like after the month after your physical, you got to pay for that.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, it's fucking ridiculous. You gotta pay a diagnostic fee for your goddamn body. Like, what is this? I'm going to Canada.
Facts.
Oh man. Now speaking of boss or false, man, let me ask a question. Mm-hmm. Is it a boss or a false move to ask one of your homeboys to produce your podcast, but you ain't never listened to theirs? Is it a boss or a false move?
Wait, they haven't?
That's false.
Who? Really?
Who?
I just want everybody to answer the question first. I'll get into that in a second. just go ahead and talk about it for a second.
Herb hasn't?
So, is it a boss or false move?
Is it a boss or a false move to ask your homie to produce your podcast, but you ain't never listened to this?
What are you doing, man?
So look.
There's no false.
So Herb told me, he told me that he thought our podcast was a current events podcast. I was like, yo, have you ever listened to our podcast? He's like, yeah, I listened to a few episodes. I'm like, which episodes did you listen to that you thought was current events? I'm like, yo, what's happening there? But anyway, it's all good. Herb, you foul for that. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there.
You need to listen more.
you foul for that. It's all good though, cause and it's all love. I actually love the Herb Certainty podcast, and I love doing working with him and Alex. So it's just all fun and games. Don't nobody say that this is a diss to Herb Certainty. It's all good.
Don't get your panties in a bunch.
It's all love. Go listen to the Herb Certainty podcast. That and the link to that will be in the description below, and awesome. All clickable links to the Herb Certainty podcast will be on our page as well. Okay. And speaking of current events, one event that I'm currently loving right now was the fact that FNXFit is sponsoring this podcast.
Yeah,
let it. She's going to try it like a segue. All right, so FNXFit is health and wellness brand, all natural products. I'm currently sipping on the what is it? The refuel. Their new protein shake. It's actually really good. Melissa just had some, and it kind of tastes like a vanilla milkshake in my opinion. It
tastes like vanilla coffee creamer.
And is really filling. Is that crying or just
excited screaming?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So and it's like really filling the all things considered. Like, Marcus, you want to go ahead and try it out, man? You can go ahead.
I do.
You go ahead and
I was looking at.
Go ahead and jack you one of them bottles real quick, man, and go ahead and hook you up some. Come back. So FNXFit is a sports health and wellness company that makes all natural products, including my favorite, the Rebalance Super Greens, and as well as my new favorite, the Refuel Whey Protein. Now, this is my first time actually using the whey protein, so it was a little bit of a challenge to me, coming from like something that just did not taste as good to go into something like this. I'm kind of trying to figure out if it is like legit, but regardless, FNXFit, all of their products are natural. There is no chemicals, which is something that I love. There's not a lot of hidden ingredients and all that other stuff like that. So and when you buy from FNX, they donate every dollar donates water to a impoverished community in Africa. So feel free to help out the world when you donate from when you buy from FNXFit. So to get FNXFit products, go ahead and hop on over to fnxfit.com and use the code AMGFIT for 10% off of your order.
There's something that's been like weighing heavy on my heart.
That's really.
I mean, it's like a lot of people will go to great lengths to like try to get over on the system instead of putting in the work, the time, the dedication into building up a legacy. Like
right.
all that same energy can be focused into something else. Like I think it was the last episode posted. The same energy that you can put into
excuse us, y'all. We have Jace here in the studio.
Other special guest.
Yeah, we got another
smaller
member.
one.
Another member.
He ain't come in here yet.
Another member of the family. Go ahead, Marcus.
But the same energy that can be put into failing the test could be the same energy you put into passing the test.
Right.
It's just that easy. Just making a decision somewhere down the line to change directions of your life is just that's all it is. It's just one decision that could impact your life forever. So why don't people do that?
I don't know why don't you think people do it?
'Cause they're lazy. But it's just that same laziness can be switched with a decision into a different motivation.
Yeah.
And why is it always trying to get over on the government that we try to?
That's a good question. I'm like,
what beef do we? I mean, there's a lot of beef we have with the government, but I'm just like, why are we trying to get over on the government?
Especially them unemployment scams.
Man.
You know,
Like, right, like
catching up with them now.
There's plenty of other opportunities
really
out
unemployed.
here. Right. Yeah.
The people who give you the money unemployed now, so where you can get it from?
Right.
Ooh, man, oh man.
Oh,
What you got?
you go ahead. I was talking about the comment.
Oh, you don't have anything?
I will. You were winding up. I'm not gonna be like, no.
No, go ahead.
No.
Good no. That's good no.
You.
He tired of talking all the time, so
He has the good.
No, because I'm long-winded, so if I go first, it's
he gotta go last. Last.
I usually get ideas from you.
Well, no.
Yeah,
But
that is true.
yeah, based off of what's been going on around us, man, like especially like you just said, like people trying to get over on the government. I'm like, yo, the government, y'all don't understand that the government has systems in place so you don't get over on them. So where are you really going with this getting over on them scenario? Like, for instance, somebody try to live off of unemployment, but they need extra money to do whatever they need to, extra money to support a certain type of lifestyle. So then they go try to work under the table and then fuck around and get audited because they got extra income coming in. That the government want to know how you were able to afford this. Like, no, like, come on now.
Like some people at work, they go on this long leave and then sign up for unemployment. No, you're still employed.
And let the job find out about that, they're gonna automatically terminate you, and you ain't never gonna be able to work there again. And this is a pretty easy fucking job, all things easy in the sense of like physical
work,
physical,
but the mental,
yeah. But only if you
I almost feel like it's opposite because it doesn't involve very many brains to actually operate that job.
not at a tier 1 level.
Exactly.
But our level, like, is a little bit different.
I mean, a little bit.
Oh my God, I don't want to talk about it. Let's breeze past that one right quick. I don't want to talk about that. Oh man, my first week was horrible. No,
it was that?
Not on the podcast.
Oh man,
After the
like
podcast.
How was your week?
We can talk about it. Like in small detail. Like the environment is it's horrible. Just the toxicity of the mindsets of people is just insane. The lack of leadership or the lack of leadership principles in the leadership is bad, man. Like I struggled. I struggled this week, man. And it's only gonna get worse because Pete. So yeah, if I end up without a job, at least we can go ahead back to doing podcasts on Tuesday.
If I can make it through it, you can make it through it.
I don't know if my fist and my brain are going to allow me to make it through this one, but it's all good.
I'll have Buddy keep an eye on you.
She gotta stay away from me with that social distancing stuff, man.
Oh.
They getting out of control.
It's loud as hell back there. I'm trying to get up on folks so I can actually hear them when they talking, because people for some reason, when Kevin Hart said "say it with your chest," did people not get that reference? Like, yo, like why we on a dock around loud ass fans and power equipment beeping and shit, road runners every goddamn where, we whispering, and then you want to try to social distance. Like, yo, you talking to me and you got a mask on. I can't read your lips. There's loud ass fans everywhere. There's power equipment beeping around me. Beep, 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 beep. Power equipment slamming shit down on the floor, and you just, bro, what you saying? Like, what's wrong with you, man? Yeah. My week was bad, man. It was sad. It was pretty sad. Nah, I got to do it again
For the week.
That ain't how that work. You still got to do it. That ain't how that work. Like I ain't retired yet.
Insert optimism here.
You mean insert delusion? Because I still have to go back.
Well, I have another interview Monday.
Oh yeah.
Another interview? How in the world?
Why are they making you interview again?
Do you
Because
already?
one was tier 3 and the other one was actual process assistant.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so it's a job specific now, because the first one was a pod.
I
But
thought
you
that they were
still-
only doing those.
You still
now.
shouldn't have. No, the next one isn't.
Yeah, I
And
was
weren't
told
you
I shouldn't have
inclined
to-
for the other one?
Yeah, she was.
Still am.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Who-
So
did you talk to? Did you talk about it,
he's actually doing my interview.
Proctor?
Jermaine? Oh shit, she got that.
Yeah.
She
But
all.
I
She
don't know
all.
who else gonna be with him because it's 2 people.
It don't matter.
Oh,
It don't matter. Jermaine gonna make you look good. But still do it. Still do your interview like you would anybody else. But yeah, you already got inclined. So don't just go ahead and take it. Just go ahead and do it. And best of luck to you.
You got this.
You got it. Yeah, I ain't worried about it.
Nah.
And then we get paid every week.
Let's talk about that. Like how, why did somebody tell me like, yeah, man, we gonna be getting paid more than we get paid every week? Bitch, how?
Stupid.
Bitch, how?
All right. So, really, that's a mental thing. Cause when I was working at construction, but I mean they had me like there every day, so I couldn't spend the money. So that's why I was making money.
Yeah, true. That's why everybody rich as hell doing peak and be buying like the most fanciest cars on during the beginning of the year.
New Year's.
New Year. Yep. Tax time coming, they can make them first few payments. By March they be repoed.
But it's all a mentality thing. For some reason it's like that extra week or trying to plan out like finances over 2 weeks is just like a struggle. I don't know why. It's like
People can't
It
stop
shouldn't
spending.
be.
People just can't stop spending. That's the problem. It's like I need you to help me govern my money.
I don't know.
'Cause-
I think it's dependent on how people were raised. Like for me, it's not a big deal. Like I have money. I have the ability to set aside money to be able to pay off my credit card every month, regardless of how much it is. Like with all the unforeseen expenses, I can still manage it. Like it might be a little tight, but it's not like, oh my God, I don't know. I just don't know.
Right.
See, what I used to do was put each bill that I'm going to pay on that payday. Like when payday come, I'm going to pay this bill or pay half and
Yeah.
half,
Right.
every 2 weeks. And I mean, it worked out. One time I was doing it all by myself, with a man child.
Oh,
in
y'all
the
shouldn't
house.
have no problems right now.
So, we need to get our dates together. We forget when it's due. So that's the only problem we have.
And
But
I don't-
other than that,
Do y'all consolidate y'all expenses, y'all monthly expenses?
Yeah, but then we have like, well, except for like the car, she takes care of her own car and I take care of mine. We don't really bring our cars into it. But everything from like
Y'all do that on purpose?
I mean,
we just really
it's
haven't
it's
put
just-
our cars into.
Yeah.
I don't know why. We just
I mean, we do share cars, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this is my first responsibility ever.
Mm.
So I feel like I should like keep that. That's something I.
it's like,
Oh, okay, because you saying because you got that car before y'all were a thing. So
Basically.
I feel that.
but then also it's just
Right.
what we got to do to pay, because you got to pay yours through the bank,
Yeah, the credit union.
and I have to pay my parents because they couldn't put it in my name right away.
Mm.
So
Well, they could have co-signed.
it was
could've,
something up with, they were like, because it was being financed through my mom's bank, and because they said because of
Find
that,
another bank.
huh?
Just find another bank.
Yeah, that's because I was like, my bank is fine. It's Navy Federal Credit Union. I was like,
Navy Federal, a
Yeah.
beast.
but for some reason, they was like, because it was being financed through her bank, it needed her name on it.
Like
And I'm
I talked to somebody who had Navy Federal, and they gave them a 4% finance rate
Hmm.
on APR on a car loan, and this person had like a low 600 credit score, and I'm like,
Ooh.
all right, okay.
Gotta sit down with my
Well,
bank.
me, I didn't have no credit when I started off, so.
Mm. But yeah.
I feel that, but to that point of people just, I don't really get it, honestly, because I've never really been that way. Like I even watched my mom. Like I talked about it on the podcast before about how my mom be stressing out during like the time where she needed to pay all of her bills and stuff. and like she just like sit at the kitchen table with her little reading glasses like on the tip of her nose with her head down, and got her hand on her forehead, just shaking her head the whole time, doing all this huffing and puffing. But it probably smoked like 17 cigarettes during that point while she was still smoking. But I mean, that's just, yeah, like I seen that and I was just like, yo, I don't want that. Right. I don't want that. Like I need to figure out what. And my thing is like I always like to learn from other people's mistakes. So it's like if I get myself in a financial situation, I'm going to look at all aspects of it, not just like how I did it, what I did wrong, but what are other people doing right that I'm not. And that was one of the biggest things when Alyssa first came around. I didn't know anything about the 10% pay down thing, logic when it came to credit cards, right. And how that makes your credit look really good when you're consistently paying it down. Like I just always had this notion like if my credit card isn't maxed out, then I'm good. Or if I always made, not necessarily maxed out, but if I always consistently made the payments, then I'm good. But that's not necessarily the case. So I had to learn. Right. But with other people, like this whole thing, like I hear people all the time saying like, yeah, like we getting paid every week now. So now that's a lot better than getting paid bi-weekly. But I'm like, it's the same amount of money. Right. It's like, yeah, but I get paid every week though. Yeah, but it's the same amount of money. What is your argument that you get paid every week?
They just want to spend it faster. That's all.
Yeah, and that's it's weird, like because like if you got the same, like I got a bill due right now, but I don't get paid until next week. Yeah, I understand that. But at the same time, how did you get to a point? Like you should never get to a point where you don't have any money in your pocket at that current moment. So there shouldn't be a point in any time. Like right now, I went out and spent like $100 at Walmart, and I really didn't want to. I'm not looking at the money like, oh man, I got a bill coming up right tomorrow. I don't get paid till next week. I'm not looking at it like that because like that's like I don't even know when payday is right now. Like I keep money on me, so I just really don't I don't focus on when payday is, and I keep my bills lined out. I know if I'm working this many hours, then I'm going to get paid somewhere around this ballpark of how much money I'm getting. I don't get paid salary, so it's kind of wishy-washy. Right. So I know if I don't work, then I don't get this. Or if I miss this many hours, then I know that I cut it back a little bit in this direction. But there's no point where I'm just like going to spend money and just being like, damn, now I ain't got enough money to pay my rent. Like what kind of logic is that? And if you have that mentality, like I hear people all the time, like, oh man, we get paid every week. Like when they get converted from temp to full time. Y'all heard me. I was about to say that word. But when they get that promotion from temp to full time, then they like, man, now I don't get paid every week. I'm like, but now you got a permanent job, right? Isn't that like a win? So what? You don't get paid every week. You still get paid the same amount of money.
Facts.
So what? So I really don't understand it. Like I can see the problems that arise when you don't get paid consistently, especially like as consistently as weekly. Yes, it does feel good to get money or to get paid weekly, but it's the same amount of money regardless. In fact, not only is it the same amount of money that you're making, now they get 4 opportunities each month to tax you. So why would I want to get paid every week?
These are facts. The more you make, the more they take. Remember that, people.
Well, I mean, granted, I mean, that's true and all, but that's a broke person saying. I'm not necessarily a broke person, but a poor person saying. Because I want to be paying them. Because that shows how much money I am making.
Right.
Okay. Like, tax time. What everybody going to be looking like during tax time? Next year, I'm probably going to be depressed because I gotta get a tax refund check. I'm just being real with y'all. I don't like the fact that I get a tax refund check. Because that means that I still got a W-2 job. Thanks. That means I don't work for myself yet. That means I don't generate my own income yet. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I mean, it's just all a matter of perspective, I guess. But, anybody, I'm going to stand back for a second. I'm going to let y'all talk.
Somehow I feel like we went off topic from the actual topic.
We getting there. Don't worry about it. We getting there.
It's build up.
Yeah, we getting
It's
there.
a long build up.
Well, get to the point.
You rushing me?
Mr. Long-winded?
I recently had a conversation with an individual who told me that I want to ask a question because I want to get everybody else's perspective on this situation here. I was told that by this individual that they weren't going to do anything on a financial standpoint until they paid off their current debt.
And I know what debt you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't gonna get paid out till he like 50.
Okay, so yeah, you do know.
But what's the question you wanted to ask?
That's it. That is like what is your perspective on that thought process? Like,
really, I would go with I know there's a word for it, but I think it's like a certain type of action or mentality you're supposed to have. But if you're already in debt, like why not, go ham to get out of debt? Like you
my man.
Like
yes.
you already in the hole. Might
Yes.
as well like do everything.
Dig yourself out the hole.
Yeah,
Right. Build you a ladder out them sticks in the hole.
That's what I'm saying. Build your ladder. But because like it's gonna take time to pay that off if you're gonna do it. The working a 9 to 5, putting the money aside. Like if you're gonna do it that way, then like you should be living like a very minimal life. Like
Very
minimal.
minimal.
A good 3/4 of your check should be to death, and then you living off that quarter.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
I don't know
That's
how
how I
to
feel.
explain that. Like,
If I'm already, sticks up, might as well just go ham.
that's poor mentality.
Yes. Yes, very much so.
I mean, even if you think about like real estate investors, like at some point you're going to have to invest some capital. You're going to know that you're going to be taking on debt, essentially, with a mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
Being like, okay, I'm going to do what I can to pay it off within, or not even pay it off, like depending on whether or not they're planning on taking it and keeping it for a rental or flipping it and selling it. Whatever the case is, if it's the flippers, they're going to say, okay, I have this amount of time to renovate it, make it show ready, and sell it. Get it off the books.
That's awesome because my aunt just said like almost all of that like today.
Yes.
Finally talk to her.
Or whatever.
But
Then like
go ahead.
the other side, like other individuals that are planning on keeping it as their own and as a rental, they're like, okay, I have this debt. This is going to generate me X amount of money over a certain period of time.
Right.
After it's paid off, then my income is going to jump because I no longer have this. But if you would have never
But
like
the equity
started
though.
to try and find tenants or anything like that, I can't even use the same term that you did. It just doesn't sound right coming from my mouth. Go ham? No. No.
Listen,
Just go hard. Just
No.
To be very
No.
aggressive.
Sweet ahead.
No.
go hard in the paint.
No.
To be very.
No.
To be very aggressive.
But like if you think about how much money like you're so supposedly wasting, or how bad your credit is dropping, or whatever amount of debt that you're accruing based on renovations that need to happen because you need to make it show ready or rental ready,
Right.
or whatever the case might be. Like if you let that hold you back, you won't see,
The
this
big picture at
perfect
the end.
tenant that's trying to build their family and would like to try and whatever and try and build up their own and help you pay off. Like
Right.
if you let things hold you back like that, then you'll never get anywhere.
Yep. Yes. Yep. That's the word right there. I don't think I got much to say after that one.
Oh, that's weird.
That just means you did a great job.
Yeah. So and you see people do it all the time. They say they hold back on doing things or making moves because they are afraid of not being able to make payments for certain things. But then you see those same people who don't want to make those moves upgrade their luxuries. And I'm like, so what purpose is it to say that I'm not going to do anything until I pay off this certain debt over here, but then you upgrade this debt over here to come up here instead of being the low at the bottom. Like, right. I got $100 car payment, but I want a new car. I'm not going to start my business because I got a mortgage, or I got to pay off my kids' school, or I got student loans or anything. So I'm not going to start a business or do anything business related, invest in anything because of my current debt, this outstanding debt that I need to pay down or going to be paying for a long time now. So I'm not going to do that because I have this payment and I won't be able to make this payment if I invest in it. I understand the mentality, but at the same time, it's like, if you have that debt over here, but your $100 car payment, there's nothing wrong with your car. Or we can use houses as an example, because most people don't buy houses for assets. Let's go ahead and be real. Right. So I got this. I got a small house, 900 square feet. All right. I make a $400 mortgage payment, but I want a bigger house. So instead of aggressively paying that whatever that payment is that you need to make, the student loans or the medical bills or whatever the case is, instead of making those payments on net, you turn around and take that money that you could be paying aggressively on this bill to upgrade your luxuries. So now you got a luxury that's upgraded, but now you ain't got no money to pay for that luxury. So now you just put yourself deeper into a hole that you didn't need to be in. There was nothing wrong with that 900 square foot house. There was nothing wrong with that $100 payment that you were making on that old beat up car. There was nothing wrong with neither one of those things, but you decided, because you wanted to feel good about your own life in the moment, you would decided that you wanted to upgrade those things and not necessarily invest in something that's going to benefit your entire future, not just your future to see.
Mm-hmm. Like, really, you're just putting your life on pause. Yeah, you're just putting your life on pause.
Exactly. When when it was said to me, when my man told me that, I was like, bro, like, how long is that gonna take?
Years.
Because I know people that's 50-something years old that went to school in their 20s, when they early 20s, but graduated at the age of 22 and still making payments on student loans in their 50s. So how long is it really going to take? Right. Like, are you kidding me? Are you about to wait that long? And it kind of reminds me of Jamal King, how he was talking about about his coworker in the police department, who always looked at his life like, yeah, King, I'm gonna do this when, because he used to go on vacations a lot, and she used to tell him like, yeah, King, I'm gonna go there, like, tell me all about your vacation when you come back, and I'm gonna go there too when I retire. And then turn around and died after she retired, like not even 30 days after she retired. So it reminded me of that, because I'm like, yo, how many people could be doing something? What could the world be now if people decided to just make a decision to do something? Thanks. Like, what would happen if Mark Zuckerberg didn't make the decision to make Facebook and get Facebook off the ground? When he was in college, what would the world be like if he didn't make the decision to just drop everything and do that? Thanks. And he made a big sacrifice. Let's not be like facetious about it, but Mark Zuckerberg made a really big sacrifice. He's an anomaly in that sense, because most people wouldn't go that far to sacrifice something for something that they were unsure about. Right. But you don't necessarily need to make a sacrifice that big in order to do something with your life.
It could be as easy as doing something, like a small hobby, or like investing time into that could, bring in proceeds. Like for music, if it's just like, doing gigs, doing shows here and there, or even just playing off the corner of the street. Right. You still get some type of proceeds back from that, and you could use that to pay off this debt that you have.
Right.
Yeah, and that brings up another point that a lot of people don't think about investing things. They always equate paying off debt to amounts of money, and then they're like, well, I don't have the money. Right. But like you said, like, that doesn't involve very much, but talent is also a skill that you can also have, as well as time. Like, you can like figure out, like, okay, I'd like to go into this. I'd like to start this. Let's educate myself. Let's take the time to actually do something.
Yeah, like to that call out, like a lot of people, when they say, yeah, I don't have the money to do certain things, it's like, okay, well, it's like you said, like, what are you gonna do to get that? Like, one major thing that difference in mindset between poor people versus wealthy people that I heard was poor people say, I can't afford that, and wealthy people say, how can I afford that? And that rings a lot to me when it comes to like for instance, like I need a 20% down payment to buy my first investment property. 20% is it's quite a bit when it comes to a house, or just that type of payment, because you talking 20% of $100,000 is $20,000. I don't necessarily have $20,000 like just sitting somewhere just chilling. So wealthy people just they instead of saying, well, I can't afford this, I'm gonna go turn around and do something else. Wealthy people say, well, I can do this to get that money. I can do that to get this money. I can do that to get this money. So there's plenty of ways to get that money. The money is out here. It's not like they're not still printing money. I mean, it might be a little less now during the COVID, but regardless, the principles are still the same. The money is out there. You can get your hands on it if you wanted to get it. It's just all about making a decision. And one of the biggest things that I ask people, like I'm really big on time management, because it's like, time is one of those things that you just do not get back. You got 86,400 seconds of every single day, and you spend it based off of the decisions that you make. So if you're spending your time, your free time doing absolutely nothing, then of course you're not going to have any money to do anything, because you're just spending your time spending money. So if I spend 40 hours at work, I'm not going to spend my free time just spending money, because if I spend that free time spending money, then I offset the 40 hours that I worked this week. So, and I just don't understand why other people don't get that. It just makes no sense to me.
It's common sense.
You would think it's common sense.
But common sense is not common.
I had to ask for money. I had to ask this same dude for money one time, and I felt so bad about myself that I was like, yo, I something got to change.
The fact that he had more money than you at the moment.
Something had to change, man. I'm like, yo, he ain't no better than I am. I was like, yo, for real. Like, I had to ask this dude for money to pay my rent. And I paid him back with interest. I'm like, yo, fuck this. I'm not doing this no more. Thanks. I'm not doing this no more. Like, this can't be my life. This cannot be my life. So, nah.
And look at you now.
Invest in your future,
people. 100 points higher on my credit score later.
Hey.
120 actually.
Not even a year later.
A whole LLC.
A whole LLC later. Damn. Oh, all right. Yeah, whole copyright later. Damn.
Hey.
Stepping on up.
Moving on up.
Pat yourself on the back.
Ooh.
I got him. He can't reach that far.
Fuck all y'all. I don't know what really brought this up, but I ended up doing some research on something that I wanted to bring to y'all, because it confused me a little bit as to why this is even a thing. Why, like, how you even get the poor mindset with something like this going on in the world. So, and what I mean by this going on in the world, we talked about it on one podcast before. The apartment complex that I live in, how many units are in the apartment complex. I ended up finding out that it's approximately 144 units in this complex. And something like I was talking to Alyssa one day, and the conversation of, I wonder who owns this apartment complex came up. So I used the city assessor, and I looked up this property and found out who owned this property. Well, it turns out that, and I'm not going to say the name of the company, just for legal reasons, but this property is owned by this one company that is really big in the real estate world, but it started off with just regular people who just made a decision. So this complex that I live in currently now has 144 units. All of the rents are from $800 to $875. There's only two different rents, upstairs units and downstairs units. This property makes $121,800 every single month.
Yeah.
Every single month, if provided everybody make rent. Even if people didn't make rent, it probably still doesn't.
It doesn't affect
50%. 50% of the people in this complex could
still
not
over
make
60,000.
could not make rent, and they could still be able to survive that month off of just expenses alone.
Jeez.
That's provided everybody toilets don't blow up at the same time. I mean, granted, maintenance fees and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's still a thing. But just off of basic numbers alone, like the complex. There's another complex in Colonial Heights that this same company owns. Another 144 units. Rents go from 1,050 to 1168. Based off of the size of the unit. Another 160 was I think it'll be about 160,000 somewhere in that area, considering the bump up in rent. However, this complex, 144 units, this complex brings in $1,461,600 every single year, provided everybody makes rent.
Yep. And will only go up because rent goes up.
And will only go up every single year because rent goes up every single year.
And because of the time that they've owned it, it's probably already paid off.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. That means that's if they decided to pay it off, because they might have wanted to keep the equity.
Who knows?
I know I probably would, but that's based off of poor mindset jumping in the wealth mindset. So maybe that may or may not.
I'd have to look into it, but I'm sure that after you own a certain number of properties, like, you can only cut your taxes so much.
All right.
I mean, you still,
if it's just a tax incentive that you keep a debt on books.
Apparently, sometimes it's better to keep paying on it. I don't really know that. We'll have to look into that later on and talk about that another time. But this company, once again, I'm not saying the name. This company owns 14,550 units all across the United States.
That's insane.
14,550 rental units all across the United States. Their biggest property is 561 units. 561. Their biggest property. With the rent, and I looked it up. A one bedroom. This complex has 3 bedroom apartments as well. This 1 bedroom costs $950 a month.
Oh,
that must be up north somewhere.
It is.
It's
in Connecticut.
It is.
Yeah. So and I just like looking at like different aspects of this company. Like I ended up finding out that they've been around for 40 years. Well, 40 years rung to me when I seen it on the website. For over 40 years. Over 40. I was like, wait a minute, what? That sounds familiar. That sounds really familiar. How long does corporate America say you got to work before you retire?
40, 60, around that time.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, you retire at 60.
You retire at 60, but you've been working for 40 years at that point.
65 now, I think.
Yeah.
So you get to start working at like 20.
You work for 40. You spend your time in your life slaving for somebody else for 40 years, and then at the end of it, you ain't necessarily got a pot to piss in because it's too expensive, and you ain't got the money no more. But this company has been around for 40 plus years, and they have been able to acquire this much property. And this is just rental units and complexes and stuff. This company also owns houses.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a whole real estate company. Like they own a lot. But once again, it just started from a one person making a simple decision to do something. Like, if I buy a house, that's a start.
Right.
I can do whatever I need to get money from that house. That house is now an asset to me, and I get a net worth. Everybody who owns a house has a net worth.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And people don't necessarily understand those things. When I see stuff like that, I'm like, yo, another man who bleed red and shit brown like me has done it. So I can do it too. But you have other people who look at it like, bro, that's That's outrageous, man. I never had that type of money. I don't even have the knowledge to even go into that realm of trying to do what that company did. And it's and let's be real, it's not even about the real estate company. Like, yo, like I feel the same way about my books. Like, I feel the same way about that. But you have some people that's so afraid to fail, they so risk averse that they just don't even try to do anything, and they're afraid to fail. And the fear of failure doesn't make sense to me, because we all know that if I go fail, now I know something. Now I know how that didn't work. Now I know why that didn't work. Okay, let me assess why that didn't work. Let me go try it again. Well, if you never go out to fail, then you don't know anything. I've never done this. I've never tried to do this. So now I have nothing to show for it at all. But versus if I go do it and I fail at it, now I still have something. So you can actually just re-up on that failure, go forward again and try it again. Well, if you never go out to fail in the first place, then you never know. Right. You don't know anything.
It's all about absorbing the knowledge that you don't have.
Right. And if you don't fail, how are you going to appreciate the win?
Yep.
Is it really failing, knowing that you learned something?
No.
No.
That's why there's no such thing as losses. You either win
or you just learn.
Or you learn something. You replace the L. I take a L this time. I took a learning experience.
Thanks.
It's just that simple. Like, people are afraid to do it, and it is just it makes no sense, because like at the end of the day, at least I took something away from it.
Yeah.
At least I took something away from it. But I wrote something down, and I was trying to get at it just now, but I just want to read it just to make sure that I actually go over it on this podcast for somebody who may be listening to it. That people are afraid to build something that they may lose, but if you build something and lose it, then at least you tried. In one scenario, you didn't have anything, and you may never have anything. But on the other hand, you build it once, and now you have the knowledge to make another clear decision. Do nothing out of fear, or move forward out of determination. I just wanted to make sure I read that clearly, and actually hit on what I was trying to say, because I didn't want to pass that up. What the fuck is happening? What is happening?
You're not gonna read the bottom part?
No, that's what I was going.
Okay, all right.
That's where I was going with that.
I don't know, because it's hard to wrap my head around it too. Like, if you lose something, there's many scenarios that could go along with it. Like, say you lose it, I mean, there's not something that says you'll never get it back.
Right. Right.
Say holding off on something or losing something, maybe you're gonna get a better return back if you stay true and your dedication to whatever you're trying to do. Like, if anything obtained could be attained again. So I'm just like,
and humans have proved that too. If anybody's seen The Wolf of Wall Street, Jordan Buffett went broke twice.
Oh, I ain't watched that yet.
Jordan Buffett went broke twice.
Come on.
Twice. So if I was ever afraid of failure, this motherfucker became a millionaire 3 times. Like 3. Wait, what? Yeah, like he went to jail, lost all his money, came back out, got rich again, went to jail again because he was being. He won't be in like real. He won't. By no means
he
did
might
he make
not
his
be
money.
the best example.
by no means. But no,
might not be the best example.
He learned. He learned once again. If you fail, if you fail, you learn from where you failed at. Well, he thought that the second time he could go back in and do it. Just shift his process a little bit.
I meant in terms of morals, he might.
But
not
that's
be
what
the
I'm
best
saying.
Example.
That's what I'm saying. Like he went to jail for it twice. He lost his money twice. The third time, now at this point, he's legit with it. He still was able to become a millionaire based off of what he knows, off of the mistakes that he made in the past. And he said it. like if you ever watch his interviews and his documentaries, like the movie was all flash. Like that was Hollywood. That won't necessarily go into like real deep about how this man, his thought process worked, but he learned from his mistakes, and he was able to do it legitimately the third time. And now, like he was so good at persuading people, where this is where he went wrong, because he was doing like fraudulent stuff in the stock market and all that other stuff, like penny stocks and all that other stuff like that. And he found out that he was really persuasive in sales. So now he teaches sales. And that's how he got his millions this time.
I almost want to say that like people that invested pre-housing bust and gained a lot of properties and things like that, and ultimately lost them because they either couldn't flip them and sell them like they anticipated, or had to sell them off because they lost whatever, and then end up realizing that the market was going to turn again and still took the leap to invest in it again, are a better example, just because of the fact that, and granted, I'm not such a huge fan of the other guy, so I mean there's that, but I mean like in terms of just getting over that fear of failure. Like I was listening to Bigger Pockets today, like the very first episode he was talking about like this guy that had 56 different properties. Oh no, that was quite a few episodes for you.
Episode 1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was like 56 properties they owned before the housing bust in 2003.
Yeah.
And he lost $8 million and ended up going into $2 million of debt rather than, and then afterwards he just built it right back up again. And he was like, okay, I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to be more smart about how I have my money. I'm going to invest in this. I'm going to invest in that so that I have this in the event that I need to invest in it later.
And it's crazy because with everybody's example, it brings me right back to the episode we had with Hydus about the skateboard. Everybody gets on and they have that first fall, that first major fall, and they're just like, some of them, they're like, hey, I did it, I tried, I don't want to do this because it hurts.
Yeah.
But some, like he did, he's like, he got tattoos, of his failures and all that other stuff. Well, not of his failures, but scars and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And he's doing great. He learns from his mistakes. He moves on better, and each mistake is like a kind of like a boost forward.
Yeah. Courtney, you real deep in thought. I'm gonna need you to come off of those inner feelings for a second. Because you
share them.
Because you are really deep in thought. You have been for like the last 10 minutes and very quiet. So,
because I'm currently watching something where she bought this property. She already owned this apartment. Was it apartments?
Yeah, apartment.
Yeah, she owned these apartments, and she wanted to get in on this investment of a old folks home, basically. But something happened, and they all had to kick out money for like lawyers and stuff. And something happened, and they couldn't build right away, and they had to kick out money, and she didn't have it.
Right.
So she just was ignoring the guy when he was asking for the money, just ignoring him, whatever. And then she just spiraled. Like she sold her property that she had, and she thought about stealing money from another business she was running.
Right.
Not so much of hers, but she was running it. Right. But she just spiraled. Like, I didn't get past that. Like, I don't know if she got over that or will try again. Like, I still got to watch more, but but that would be like one example of people just giving up.
Oh no, I was, but I lost the thought. It was kind of like how when she said she didn't plan ahead. Yeah, like failing at something. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. So why get stuck up on
Peter,
one?
don't sue us.
What? We can't say that?
Peter, don't sue us.
It's just a saying. We're not actually skinning cats. We love the kitties.
Oh yeah, but why get stuck up on one plan that you had and it didn't work, why not keep going and try the other millions or bajillions of ways that people
I feel like she was so focused on that because her eyes was on the prize, which was the money.
Right.
She was mainly in it for the money and not actually. She didn't jump into it
for the.
She didn't have a why.
And then she had her little brother help her get it.
She didn't have a why.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
She just wanted money, and money gets old real fast. And when your money is threatened, when money is your primary goal, you become unethical in how you think. Yep. So in conclusion,
first you don't succeed.
Try again.
Yeah.
So
try it again.
did we start playing the Aaliyah song?
Yes.
Don't. Oh, man.
But don't always get hung up on the first mistake. Mistakes are gonna be made. Failure is gonna happen. Failure is a part of life.
Don't beat yourself up over the failure.
Yeah,
What?
I mean, if you have to, dwell in that, to get that motivation, to get that spark going again, I mean, by all means, feel that pain. The pain is real.
I mean, it's not so much as failure. It's a lesson.
Don't always accept what somebody else tells you is going to happen. Try to put it into your own hands.
Ooh, brought it back.
do that.
Okay, I see you.
With the right intentions.
I see you. Brought it back. Okay. All right. I guess you can go ahead and close it out now, Mark.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast. Check us out at our website at
ExtensionDynasty.com.
and check us out on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. All our social media will be
In the
link
description below.
I said the link below. I was about to say link below. But yeah, this has been us. Peace.
Leave a review.
Yeah, you can't forget that. Leave a review. Shit.
Leave a review, like, comment, let us know what you guys think.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Click, click.
Bing.
Can we do that video? Catch more of our videos.
Maybe just point in one spot. Just put it like everywhere. Just in this general area.
Oh man, we gotta start doing it.
Oh man. So yeah, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to our channel. Go ahead and check out our other YouTube channel at Mac of All Trades. Check out our website at amgdynasty.com and catch us on Facebook. If you have questions or comments about this podcast and want to be shouted out on this platform, go ahead and hit us up in our DMs on Instagram at the Dirty Trunk Podcast. And on that note, we will see you guys on the next one. Catch you next week.
Bye.